What's up, everybody? You are watching and listening to the Voice of Cheer. If you've heard or seen the show before, welcome back. I appreciate you guys watching and listening. Keep following, keep subscribing, keep sharing. If you're new to the show, where you been? Where you been? I'm welcoming new teammates to the squad. I'm welcoming new teammates to the squad with open arms. So bring it on in, bring it on in, bring it on in. But you better be bringing some talents to the table. Otherwise, I'm kidding. I'm not kidding. Bring some talents to the table. Before we get into the show, I want to give a big shout out and thank you to last week's guest, Santuan McCray, Mr. 1.5 to Split. One of the most talented individuals who have ever competed in our sport, and such an awesome friend. Great guy. This guy is moving on to bigger and better things with his, latest appearances in Nick Cannon's Wild 'N Out on MTV. If you haven't seen it, go watch it. It's a lot of fun, and Santuan does a great job on the show. I totally forgot last week to mention a team that he competed with, just because, you'll see when I get there. He did Top Gun, he did California All-Stars Reckless, and University of Louisville, but I totally skipped over Gym Time. They kind of go hand in hand with each other, obviously. So big shout out to Gym Time, James B, and everybody at the Cardinal family. I have an interesting show for you today. I'll be talking a little bit about the do's and the don'ts of cheer parenting. We all know that parent, and that parent might be your mom. But there's one in every single gym, and I'll tell you a little bit about my stories, and we'll have a couple of guests on to talk about a little bit about their stories as well. Before we dive into it, I want to give a big shout out to my sponsors over at the Cheer Week app. This app is created by the cheerleading community for the cheerleading community. You'll be able to check out all of my episodes on this platform, and also a ton of other content that you can engage in. So go right now, check out the Cheer Week app. The Cheer Week app. It is awesome. Well, there's nothing to it but to do it. I'm your host, Triston Allen, and this is the Voice of Cheer. I've coached in the industry for a long time, and I've had my share of run-ins with some crazy cheer parents. Some ended on a good note, and then others just ended. Boom. Yes, like a ticking time bomb. Either way, I learned a lot about parents and their athletes in the sport. I think the biggest issue that I see from some parents is their inability to see their child as an athlete. And I believe if they were able to do that, a lot of great things would happen. A lot of great changes would happen for their kids. I've seen parents be banned from gyms, and I've also seen athletes be kicked out of gyms because of their parents. I hate punishing a child for the sins of a parent, but sometimes you gotta do what you gotta do. Gotta do it. Are you ready to break down the do's and don'ts from my list? Of course you are. Me too. Let's talk about it. Treat your child like an athlete and help them create mental toughness. Don't send your kid to practice in the wrong practice gear and then tell the coach later and say, hey, please don't punish my athlete. It's my fault. Well, you want to come run these laps with these kids? Do you? Drop them off at the gym and let them learn for themselves. It's a great teaching tool to know that mom and dad are not there at all times. Don't talk bad about the coaches in front of your athlete. Don't. Because guess what? When the kid goes back to practice, they remember what you said, and they look at the coach a little bit different. They're like, ooh, my mama said, and my daddy said. Don't do it. Get behind the coach's plan of success. It will help your athlete and the rest of the team grow faster. Don't send your kids to practice with a handwritten note talking about, my baby's sick. She didn't go to school today because she wasn't feeling well. Because you know what that coach is going to look at you and say, or at least look at your athlete and say, I'm going to need you to bring a doctor's note. Do. If you're frustrated, take 24 to 48 hours to breathe, calm down, collect your thoughts before you contact your coaches or your gym owners. It just makes life so much easier. Don't create rumors based off of your dreams. Because last night I dreamed that Coach James told Braden's mom that Sally was going to get taken out of the air and we're going to replace her with Braden. Don't do that. Just don't do it. If you hear anybody in the gym, outside the gym, a part of the program saying something negative about the program, try to diffuse that situation, because at the end of the day, your kiddo is cheering for that program. Your kiddo is on that team. Your kiddo is an athlete at that gym. So try to diffuse that, or at least direct it towards the coaches so that they can handle, or the gym owner so they can handle the situation. Don't sit in the gossip going, I heard that. Guess what else I heard? Don't do that. You are now a part of the problem. Don't do it. Those were my 5 do's and don'ts for cheer parents. Whatever's on the do list, do that. Whatever's on the don't list, don't do that. Just don't do it. Don't do it. This is my crazy cheer parent story. I used to work at a gym, and I was coaching this U3 team with another coworker of mine, and we absolutely loved this team. They were all really brand new to the level, but they all worked super hard. The parents were super committed, and everybody was always there. So, we believed in them. We were like, hey, we can get this done. As a coach, you learn that everybody can't do everything. You may have an athlete who is multi-talented in a lot of different ways, but when it's time to run that routine, she might hit her stunts, but she might fall in her tumbling passes, or vice versa. So we have to take one or the other out. So one day, me and the other coach, we decided, you know what? We're gonna take it out. We're gonna take out that round left back. And the second we took it out, you see the girl look at us and then look over at mom. And we were like, oh gosh, this is not gonna be good. We sent him on a water break, and all I hear is, Coach Triston, come here. Can I talk to you for a second? I was like, okay, here we go. And I walk over, and obviously I already know what she's gonna say. But before I could say, hey, what's up? Tears. My baby has worked so hard to get her skills, and if you take those skills away from her, it's gonna break her down so much. And inside, to be honest, I hurt a little bit for her, because I'm all about building athletes and helping them grow. But at the same time, I was like, whoa, no, we don't need to do this. And so I told her at the moment, I said, hey, do me a favor, let's get through the practice, and then let's talk after practice. And so I went back to the practice, and the whole time she's standing in the box with the parents, and I can see that she was just having these conversations about why her daughter was taken out. There was a lot of other athletes that were taken out of a lot of other things, remind you me. So later on that night, I get done with practice, and I give her a call. And at this point, she's already created so many thoughts in her head. Now she's just mad. And she is threatening to take her athlete off the team because we took one piece of tumbling out of the routine. She flew in the routine. She tumbled already. She did standing tumbling in the routine. She had an aerial in the routine and a round of handspring tuck. I took one round off back out of the routine, and when we got on that phone call, she turned into like the devil and almost came to the phone and killed me. But luckily, that situation was one of the ones that ended well, and I love that parent, and I love that kid happily ever after. So that is my crazy cheer parent moment. I have some guests on the show that are going to tell us a little bit about their craziest cheer moments or cheer parent moment. This segment is brought to you by Connect Cheer.
Connect Cheer is the only interactive recruiting platform designed specifically for cheerleading, stunt, and acrobatics and tumbling. Whether you're a coach looking to add compatible talent to your program or an athlete interested in pursuing cheer, stunt, or acro at the collegiate level, this is the tool for you.
First experience with a parent happened this year during COVID. I coach high school cheerleading. We're only allowed 16 people on the floor, and for the first time in 8 to 10 years, our school has 20 varsity cheerleaders to choose from. During choreography, I told the kids, because of COVID, we don't know your skill set anymore, so I'm going to switch people in and out just so they can get a flow of the choreography and a flow of the routine. And as we go along, we'll figure out who alternates are. So I pulled one person out from each stunt group. The kids understood that. And then this parent came in at the end of choreography day 1, yelling in my face during COVID without a mask, trying to tell me how her child is not a bench player and how she has never heard of cheerleading having multiple people or having alternates, because that's just not how it's done. So I had to explain to her again that your daughter is in the routine. I literally just pulled out a random person so someone else can go in to get a feel for it. But if you want to pull your child from the team, then have at it. Because at the end of the day, I am not about to fight you. I'm not about to fight her. And I don't need you. I can make do without you. And then I walked away.
Okay, I think one of my craziest cheer mom stories is I was about 17 years old. We were competing for best cheerleader. And there was a girl, I'm not going to say her name, but there was a girl, and she was competing. And her mom was in the coach's box with my dad and the other coaches of the other athletes that were competing. And while we were competing, she was going through the rule book at the time and comparing skills and whatnot and calculating scores and stuff. And I don't know, it just kind of blew my mind at the time because I didn't think that A, any parents were allowed to be in the coach's box, and B, that anybody was going to have the rule book and be going through everything right then and there in front of all the coaches and athletes. And just
a crazy cheer parent experience that I've had was we were practicing, me and my co-coach were on the floor, and we were on our fourth full out. A kid went up in a stunt, and the kid fell. When she fell, she began crying, and her parent walked onto the floor, was angry, yelling, and my co-coach began to walk towards him to let him know that he was not allowed on the floor, and he began yelling in his face and approaching him closer and closer. It was a very crazy experience because I did not know which way it was going to go. It looked like it could have became physical, but it actually didn't. Our owners actually were able to get involved and separate them and push him off the floor and able to calm him down. And in the end, we were able to talk to him and understand why he was so angry. But that was my crazy cheer experience.
I want to give a big thank you to my special guests today for sharing their stories. Some of those I could not imagine. Crazy. Parents, if you're out there listening, please take some notes. Take some notes. We know it's a crazy world out there, and protecting our kiddos is number one. But communication is key, and it will help create unnecessary drama for you, your athlete, and the team your athlete is on. Before we go, make sure you share, like, follow, click the subscribe button. I don't know where it is, somewhere around here. Click that subscribe button. Tune in to next week's show as I interview choreographer AJ Too Fierce Dixon and talk about his choreography tour, and he's going to give us some feedback on some videos that we sent his way. Thank you for watching and listening to The Voice of Cheer. I'm your host, Triston Allen. Let's break. 5, 6, 7, 8.